What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I saw this news item, thought this was rather interesting. So I put a link to this article in the pinned comment in the comment section below. So Howard Stern, right, the radio shock jock host, who, by the way, before I go further in this video, sports media pretty much stole a lot of people like Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh and Don Imus's angles when it comes to sports talk, which is just to say some of the most outlandish things for views, you know. But anyway, Howard Stern, one of the world's most recognizable shock jocks, doesn't like that black players on the New York Knicks don't talk to him when he's sitting courtside. During his The Howard Stern Show on Sirius XM, Stern began an argument with his show's sidekick Robin Quivers by saying he didn't like that the players won't say hi to him. Man, I'm trying to see if I can talk like Howard Stern, man. I don't know. Or at least the rhythm of his voice. The Knicks have been, very kind to me. They put me right in the front row. That's when I knew I was famous. When I have courtside. They put me courtside, and the black players won't come over and say hello to me, but they go over to Spike Lee. I don't understand it. No, I can't talk like him. We just talk like my regular voice. The Knicks have been very kind to me. I'm doing over. Stern said, they put me right in the front row. That's when I knew I was famous. When I have courtside. They put me courtside. And the black players won't come over and say hello to me, but they go over to Spike Lee. Quivers then asked whether Stern is acknowledged at all, to which he said no. I'll be sitting next to Tracy Morgan or Chris Rock. They seat you where they seat you. And a lot of times when I'm there, I'm next to Tracy Morgan, who is so funny, and he's sitting there, and like a couple of the players will come over. They like give him that bro shake and stuff, and I'm like, these guys should hug me too. Stern added that he grew up in a black neighborhood, referring to his childhood in Roosevelt, a town on Long Island. But I get ignored. Quivers asked Stern whether he believed it was a racial thing because he is white. I'm sure they talk to some white people. No, not that I saw. I want them to. I want them to talk to me. I want them to come up and say, hey, Howard, fan of the show or something. I don't get that. And you know who comes up to me? Sometimes the referees. White guys and black guys will come up to me, white refs and blacks, like, hey, Howard, hey, but yeah. A lot of the white referees. So I'm like, oh, is everything racial now? Can I get a shout out from some of the players? Maybe they don't like me. I don't know. I'd like to think it's a white thing, not my personality. I hope it's racial. That's all. Stern added that fame to me is very important. I like people to recognize me. Well, I think he's trying to be a little humorous at the end. Well, Howard, I don't think it's really racial, bro. I don't think it's racial. First of all, let me say this before I go further. Howard Stern is the same dude that wore blackface back in the day. Just want to put that out there. I think on more than one occasion, too. With Robin just yucking it up, you know what I mean? Man, back in the day, I used to watch the Howard Stern show. The televised version used to come on E! Back in the 90s. That was the era when they used to have the Jerry Springer show, the Howard Stern show on TV, Jenny Jones, all of that stuff, Montel Williams. I'm not going to act like I didn't watch all that stuff growing up. But anyway, look, Howard, this is the truth, bro. It's not that it's racial, per se. It's that they don't know who the fuck you are, man. First of all, you do radio, Now, you do Sirius XM. I believe you've been doing radio close to, well, Sirius XM radio for close to 20 years. Okay? This is the age of social media. You're not really on social media. Plus, you've become a lot more reclusive over the last several years from what I've read. So, these young guys, these guys that's under 30, they don't really know who you are. Like, you were very popular back in the 90s. You even had a movie that came out in 1997 called Private Parts. Now, I know who you are because you were very famous in the 90s. You were on television. You were on talk shows. You know, so you were visible. You were on TV and Letterman and Leno and on E. And you had a movie, Private Parts, like I said, came out in 1997. You were talked about in the news. You said controversial things. You were very visible and popular at that time. But you're not now. So these players don't know who you are. That's part of it. And then the other part of it is Chris Rock, Tracy Morgan are older, right? But they have remained somewhat relevant because they often appear in black-themed cinema, you know, especially Tracy Morgan and Chris Rock. Chris Rock just had a comedy special that came out that wasn't very funny to me, but still it came out. Eddie Murphy's still relevant. Tracy Morgan still appears in movies and skits and things like that. They remain relevant. A lot of these dudes, they have social media accounts. You know, they do videos on social media. You don't do any of that shit. The medium that you are famous on, satellite radio, you know, I get the sense that that's starting to sort of fade a little bit as far as popularity. So that's probably why they don't know you. You know, it is what you are fearing. You're becoming irrelevant when it comes to younger people. That's why the refs that are black dap you up, because they know who you are. They're older. They're probably a little older than I am. They know who you are, but young players don't know who you are. And to be quite honest, with the political climate that's out there now, with your past, it's better off that they don't know who you are. You know what I mean? A lot of these stars that we grew up, these young guys today would consider racist. Alright? They would consider them racist because of the extraordinary politically correct climate that we're in now. Like, seriously, I don't even know if some of these younger people could survive watching the original 48 Hours. What is he calling Eddie Murphy? This man needs to be canceled immediately. So anyway, yeah, Howard, you know, that's it, man. They don't know who you are. That's what the thing is, man. They don't know who the hell you are. But tell me what you guys think.